Today is December 1st. We are 1 month until New Year's, and I'm here to tell you that winter break is going to be the time to lock in and reach your goals. My name is Victoria. I go to the University of Alabama, which means that this week is going to be dead week for us. Next week is going to be finals, and throughout these next 2 weeks, I'm going to prep for my winter break so that I can make it the absolute best that it can be, so that I can be ready not only for the New Year's, but for next semester, and really just set myself up for the big goals that I have in life so that I can reach them the best that I can. Now, I know what you may be thinking. Winter break is a time to rest. It's a time to relax. You've had the most stressful semester ever. But listen, we're going to go through and I'm going to tell you exactly how you can really envision your future self. You can envision the best self that you can be, and you are going to get so excited to be that person that you are going to want to hunker down and do some work on yourself over this next month so that you can reach your goals, whether that's fitness-wise, career-wise, school-wise, anything that you can think of. This is the time to actually hone in and get a head start on New Year's resolutions and New Year's goals. Think about it. If you could be a whole month ahead, how good are you going to feel about yourself when you get to January 1st? They say that it takes like 30 to 60 days to form a habit. And if that's true, then by the end of this month, you could have your habits formed, or at least be halfway to having your habits formed by the time you go back to school, which means that even when classes get busy and even when you get so stressed out about studying and doing schoolwork, you are already going to have built these habits for your New Year's resolutions and for your goals, so that even when things get busy, you're going to be able to keep doing them and you are going to be prepared for the school year. You're not going to stop going to the gym, and it's going to be awesome. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, Victoria, I know that I'm going to start on January 1st and I'm just going to keep going and I'm going to go to the gym every day and nothing's going to stop me. But let me tell you, it's a little bit more trickier than that, because I feel like every year I say this, every year I get to January 1st and I'm like, here I go. I'm going to hone in on my physical activity. I'm going to hone in on what I'm eating and making sure that I'm fueling myself properly and I'm not going to fall off the wagon. But then school gets busy, life gets busy, things get stressful, and the first thing to go in my day is always my self-care habits and always my hobbies, anything that I am like personally interested in that's not school. That is the first thing to go. And you can see it with everybody else too. I mean, even in the fall semester, first day of fall semester, everybody and their mother is at the gym, okay? And then every day from then on, it gets less and less crowded until the end of November. It is a ghost town. Then January 1st, magically, everybody and their mother is back at the gym again. And this time back stronger, maybe for the whole month of January even, but by the end of the spring semester, it's a ghost town again, because people get busy, people fall off, and that's okay. It's okay to give yourself breaks. But what we want to do here today is establish these habits and establish how we can really make ourselves come back quicker, come back stronger when we get busy, when we get those busy times when it's so stressful. Because if we build our habits right now, and if we take advantage of this December time, this month, this time right before New Year's to build those habits early, we will be able to maintain them for as long as we are wanting to through this year. So let's get into it. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get a little motivation, because again, I know all I want to do is sit in my bed, watch YouTube videos, but we're going to get a little motivation for doing just at least a little bit of work on ourselves over Christmas break, okay? So the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna imagine, our future selves. Where do you want to be in a year? Where do you want to be at the end of next semester? Where do you want to be when you graduate college? I'm imagining myself. I'm imagining what I look like, what I'm doing, the habits that I've built, my big dream goals of where I want to be in the future. Now, if you take the time to really write out what you look like in this age of life that you're looking forward to, and you really look forward to look at like what things that you want to have accomplished, this is going to give you the motivation that you need to start early, because really all we want to do in life is we want to become the best people that we can be, and we want to reach those goals and those dreams. And I'll tell you that college is such a special time, because there's so few times left in your life when you're going to have an entire month where you don't have to do any school or anything. And that's going to be Christmas break, because summertime, a lot of people are traveling, but winter, I swear, is the perfect time where you have a whole month open. When is the next time in your life that you are going to be able to have a true locked in winter arc? Everybody's talking about a winter arc right now, and this in college is the perfect time to take advantage of that, because you have all day over Christmas break to be doing what you want to be doing on yourself. So now that you've imagined your future self, and I'm imagining my future self, I'm imagining myself in scrubs, I'm at the hospital, I'm taking notes, I'm a registered dietitian, and I'm super fit, I'm super buff. I wake up every day and I get to do my workout before I get into work, and I have healthy, happy relationships. I feel happy, I don't feel stressed. That is the future me that I'm thinking of, and it makes me excited. It makes me really excited about the future and really excited about everything, which is where we get into our next part, which kind of ties into looking at your future self. So the next thing that we want to do is we want to establish our big goals, okay? These are going to be big life goals, big upcoming goals, again, in the next year, in the next semester, maybe when you graduate college. What are your big goals that you are wanting to accomplish right now? It's obviously not going to be a goal that you might obtain in this winter break, but this winter break is going to be a perfect time to actually work towards reaching those goals. So let's take, for example, some big goals. Could be the career that you want to do. It could be the amount of salary that you want to get, your income goals. It could be about your physical fitness. It could be about maybe trying a new sport, reaching a new mileage in a new sport, like reaching a new boundary. It could be about just starting something new that relates to physical activity. Maybe you're really good at weightlifting, but you want to try stretching or running more, something like that. Also, another thing that we want to think about is things like hobbies, habits, like things that you want to like feed yourself, feed your creativity, hobbies that you want to pick up and just do a little bit more of, because it's really hard to have hobbies during school. You get so busy. Like, I personally love to read, but I never have time because frankly, I don't make time for fun reading, and maybe that's something that you could work on. So we're thinking like careers, we're thinking fitness, we're thinking, what you're eating, making sure you're having a balanced plate and a good relationship with food, all things making yourself the best person that you can be, all things glow up. These are the big goals that we're thinking about that, again, we might not reach in the next month. You're probably not going to, because they're going to be longer term goals. But once you've established those goals, we're going to get into actual specific actionable steps for those goals. So I'll start by telling y'all what my specific big goals are, okay? So my number one big goal is to become a registered dietitian. That's a big goal. My second big goal is that I want to run a marathon, okay? Huge goal. Not going to accomplish that in the next month. My third big goal is that I want to start embracing my creativity. And this one is a little bit more like not a solid thing, not like you crossed the finish line, you did it, you took the exam, you did it. This is going to be a little bit more like I want to just keep working on it more. And then my fourth big goal is that I want to work on cataloging memories in a really memorable way. So those are my four big goals. Now let's talk about how we tie those big goals in, those big life arcing goals, those big like best self you can be. How do we tie those into right now? How do we tie those into this month? So this is when our actionable steps come into play. So those big goals, it takes some little bit of actions. It takes actually a lot of really small actions to be able to reach those goals in the long term. Okay, so for example, to become a registered dietitian, I am already during the school year doing a lot of those things that is going to take me there. I'm taking my master's classes, I am doing my rotations at the hospitals, all those things are covered. Now, one thing that I can be working on over this Christmas break, one actionable step, is to start studying for the Registered Dietitian Exam, which is actually the exam that I would need to take to become an RD. And that is, I'm hoping to take at the end of the semester, but you can take it whenever. But I want to set the goal for myself that in the month that I graduate, I want to try to take the RD exam, which means I want to start getting prepared over Christmas break. One thing that I've been worried about is having time to study in the spring semester. But if I build the habit of studying for 1 to 2 hours a day, every single day over the next month when I have nothing else to do, then hopefully that will build me a strong habit where I will keep studying for the RD exam alongside my classes all through next semester. So my first actionable step is to study for the RD exam every day. And if you want to know more about that and you're interested, I did purchase a past class and I have some study materials, and I'm going to do a video very soon about my plan for studying the RD the exam. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned. Now for my second big goal, that was running a marathon. So I have a lot of small actionable steps that I can do for this. And I have been running pretty consistently now. So my main actionable step that I want to do is I want to start incorporating speed run workouts, because I've just been going in like zone 2 slow pace, but I want to start incorporating those run workouts. And other little steps that go along with that is I want to maintain going to the gym twice a week and lifting weights so that I can prevent injuries, and also do specific injury prevention exercises while I'm at the gym. So those things all kind of fall into the package of little actionable steps that I can do to start going towards that goal. And also with exercise and thinking about this month, even if you don't have a big goal like running a marathon or something like that, even just thinking about trying to prioritize exercise in college is a great goal to have, because this is going to be the last time in your life where, like I said, you have a whole month or a couple months at a time to actually focus on yourself, because there are so many studies about how your physical health, your bone density, all these things can decline once you reach age 25, once you reach age 30, going from there. So you really want to lift some weights. You really want to get that cardio exercise in so that you can make your heart and your bones and your muscles as strong as they can be going into when you actually have a job and you're going to be busier than ever. So second actionable step is to exercise and incorporate speed workouts into the runs that I'm already doing. Now, my third big overarching goal is to really embrace creativity, because again, I have not had that many hobbies. I haven't had that many things to do while I'm at university. And so on this Christmas break, my goal is to do a lot of handmade like Christmas presents, which I think will be a real challenge for me, time-wise and just like, creativity-wise. I really want to come up with some meaningful like handmade Christmas things. And so for about an hour every day, one of my goals is to either brainstorm or work on creating some of these Christmas presents. And then my fourth overarching goal was to catalog my memories in a meaningful way. So this thing is going to be a lot shorter than my other actionable steps, because I do have a 1 question a day journal that I was given, and I've been really good about it for the last 2 or 3 years. But over this semester, like once I started my clinical rotations, y'all, I dropped off that thing and I have not written an entry. So every single day over Christmas break, I want to do a few entries, and what I'll do is I'll go back through my calendar of what I did that day, and I'll go back through like my pictures of what happened that day, so I can kind of put together what my answer might have been on that day. And that sounds a little bit like mixed up, but I really enjoy my 1 question a day journal, and it's bumming me out that I have missed so much over this semester, but I'm not going to let me get that down, and I'm not going to let that like ruin the last few years that I've done of it or prevent me from doing next year. So I'm going to work on that at least for 20 minutes a day. All right, so now that we have our overarching goals, our big, who do you want to be? What do you want to look like? What do you want your personality to be? How are we going to glow up? What do we look like done? And then we've also got our actual actionable steps of little things that we can do over this break, over this Christmas break, to hone in and become that person. We're going to kind of decide what our day-to-day is going to look like. And this does not have to be a strict schedule at all. What I'm going to do is I'm basically going to say, like I kind of have over the last few steps that I've talked about, is I'm going to say about how much time I'm going to spend on each of these things a day. That doesn't mean I'm going to particularly do them in the morning or the afternoon or a certain time of day. It's just going to mean a specific amount of time that I'm planning to or like want to get done in a day. And this does not have to be strict. This doesn't have to be strict at all, but it's just kind of like to get you in that mindset of like, oh, like I haven't done this today. Maybe I could spend an hour on this. And so, like I said, my kind of plan is going to be, let's start with studying for the RD exam. At most, I would probably study for 2 hours a day, though usually 1, but at most 2 hours. And then for exercising, usually 1 hour a day, but if I go to the gym after, then at most I would be exercising 2 hours a day. And then I would be doing at least 1 hour of like crafting, scrapbooking, working on Christmas presents, and then 20 minutes doing my 1 question a day journal. So at the very, very, very most, I would be spending about 5.5 hours a day at the most, and that would only be like a couple days a week, 5.5 hours working on myself and locking in and becoming the best person that I would be. And that's only like 1/3 of the day. That leaves so much of the day for hanging out with friends, sleeping in, working, enjoying, making money, doing anything that else you want to do on your Christmas break. And I also want to emphasize, I'm kind of going big with going with 4 big goals and all those actionable steps underneath them. You could just go for one goal. Maybe you just want to start exercise in general. Maybe you just want to start looking at, different foods, different recipes that you might want to try. Maybe you just have one goal and a couple actionable steps, or even just one actionable step that you want to try to do every single day. And that would be perfect. That would be amazing. I just personally am trying to super challenge myself and see what I can do. And if y'all want to follow me along on that journey of like what my Christmas break is going to look like, of really honing in and becoming the best person that I can be, y'all can. I'll be posting videos about it. But like I said, if you just want to hone in on one thing, that will probably be so beneficial for that one aspect of your life, and it will do so much for preparing you for keeping that up through next semester. So all in all, I want y'all to take away from this that Christmas break is your time to do with it what you will. You could relax, you could rest, you could focus on a few things of your life that you really want to improve, that you want to work on, anything that you want to do. Christmas break is your time to really take advantage of it, hone in on it, and become who you really want to be. Our time in life is so precious, and these months that we get as breaks off in college are so precious, and it's really something that you can take to yourself after having a semester that's dedicated to your professors and all the social things that you've had going on. I encourage you, and what I wish that I had encouraged myself to do the last couple years of college, is that I encourage you to really think about what your goals are for this coming January, what your goals are for this coming year, your resolutions if you do those, and maybe take the time to go ahead and start working on them now. Get a head start of everybody else, or just think about them in general. Because I know that sometimes I get to January 1st and I'm like, oh, I have not even thought about what any of my goals are going to be or what I want them to be. So this could also just be a good time to kind of think about what those goals might be and really look inside yourself to see what you want to work on. Because even if you don't decide to do anything over Christmas break, that's totally fine. But maybe the most this video did is put you in the contemplation stage of action, where you're thinking about changing something, you're thinking about starting a hobby. And if that's what it does, then I'm so happy about that, because I just encourage you to go after your dreams, go after your goals. And again, if you want to come along to see what I'm doing, we can hold each other accountable. We can see if we're actually spending the amount of time a day, doing whatever we had planned to do, whatever our goal was. And let's see, guys, if we can lock in and if we can build some habits for this upcoming semester and make it so much easier on ourselves to reach our goals while also being in the thick of, studying and stress and all these different things. I think you guys are so incredible. I think you guys are so awesome and so capable, and I know that you can do anything that you put your mind to. So if you want to join me on this little challenge of getting a head start on our New Year's resolutions, treating December 1st as January 1st, then please do so. We have so much time this month, and even if you see this like halfway through December, just know that you're still getting a head start. Or even if you see it after January, there's never a bad time to start working on your goals, because dates are just dates. Again, this could be January 1st for all we know, it's all just subjective, and whenever you want to start working on your goals is the perfect time. So I encourage y'all, I love y'all, you guys are awesome and capable, and you can do literally anything, and I hope y'all have a great rest of your December, and I will see y'all in the next video when we get to work. Bye guys!